Miss Cindy. The co-host is Elijah. And don't forget to hit the like, share, comment, and subscribe. And think about becoming a special friend. We are going to roll out a, a contest. And we're going to pick at least three of our subscribers on Christmas Day because we know by Christmas, everyone's going to be tapped out and they are going to be in need of some money. So we're going to have cash prizes. Our goal is to reach 100,000 subscribers by Christmas. That's our personal goal because you need goals in life. And we want to be a blessing because we're blessed to be a blessing. But today we're going to join in with the Democrats about the shutdown. We've been hearing from the Trump administration what the Republicans are saying it's the Democrats' fault. Democrats are saying it's the Republicans' fault. So we want to know whose fault is it. So we're going to join them right now with Hakeem Jeffries.
Today's inflation numbers of 3% year over year confirm what hardworking American taxpayers already know. That Donald Trump and Republican policies are making life too expensive in the United States of America. Donald Trump and Republicans promised that costs would go down on day one, but costs haven't gone down in the United States of America. Costs are going up. Inflation is up the highest number since January of this year. Housing costs are too high. Grocery costs are too high. Electricity bills are through the roof. And now, because of the Republican refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, tens of millions of Americans are receiving notices right now that their health care premiums are about to skyrocket. In some instances, everyday Americans are going to pay $1,000 or $2,000 more per month. That is unsustainable in an environment where people are already struggling to live paycheck to paycheck, can't thrive, and can barely survive. We need House Republicans to come back to Washington, D.C. End your 4-week vacation. Enough already. We as Democrats, House Democrats, Senate Democrats, are ready to sit down anytime, any place with anyone here at the Capitol or over at the White House to negotiate a bipartisan agreement. Reopen the government so we can pay our hard-working federal employees, while at the same time, we need to decisively address the Republican healthcare crisis. It's crushing people all across the country. Meanwhile, Donald Trump and Republicans on Capitol Hill are nowhere to be found, have zero interest in actually addressing this issue. That's a shame. Questions?
Leader Jeffries, the New York mayoral race early voting, as you know, starts tomorrow. Are you ready to endorse Melania it?
Stay tuned.
Leader Jeffries. We are now at this point, day 24 of the shutdown. Now benefits are running out, people are starting to go without paychecks again. Now insurance premiums are already starting to go out. Republicans continue to say they're not going to do anything until the government is reopened. Is there a point where you just have to accept reopening the government?
The problem that the country confronts right now is that Donald Trump and Republicans decided to shut the government down. Like, what's unclear about the fact that Republicans have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And from the very beginning of this year, they've taken a my way or the highway approach, have steamrolled the country in all of the things, jamming their right-wing ideology down the throats of the American people. And now Republicans are claiming that they're helpless. The problem that we have right now is that House Republicans refuse to come back. They've literally been on vacation for 4 consecutive weeks. Donald Trump has found all of the time in the world to play golf. He can try to extort $230 million to line his pockets from the Department of Injustice. Somehow the Trump administration found $40 billion to bail out a right-wing wannabe dictator in Argentina, but can't find a dime to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits in order to make life and health care more affordable for hardworking American taxpayers, and Donald Trump is demolishing parts of the White House in real time. Why? So he can construct some gaudy ballroom where he can be celebrated as if he was a king. All of this has been happening during the 24 days of the Trump Republican shutdown. But they can't find a moment to talk with Democrats to find a bipartisan solution forward to reopen the government and to address the healthcare crisis that they are inflicting on the American people. That's why we find ourselves in this situation, and we need Republican support for a bipartisan path forward in order to get out of this situation.
Leader Jeffries,
Yeah.
you just said that you would stay tuned on the announcement. What more do you need to hear at this point? How many more conversations do you need to have? Why are you
Same
refusing
answer.
to endorse?
Same
Why
answer.
are you refusing to endorse?
I have not refused to endorse. I've refused to articulate my position, and I will momentarily at some point in advance of early voting.
Leader Jeffries, thank you, Leader Jeffries. There are some bipartisan talks going on in the Senate on trying to pay federal workers that are furloughed right now. Would you support any legislation that comes out of the Senate, and are you aware of any talks, similar talks happening in the House between House Republicans and House Democrats?
Yeah, we're prepared to support any bipartisan legislation that comes out of the Senate that is designed to decisively address the Republican healthcare crisis, reopen the government, and enact a bipartisan spending agreement that actually makes life better for the American people. That's what we're prepared to support.
Leader Jeffries, I understand the Democrats' position on health care and Obamacare here, but with the open enrollment period starting on the 1st, hasn't that ship legislatively sailed?
No, the challenge is going to become even...
Late once, we get it. Late 93 times? Come on.
Government shutdown drags on to November 1st. Open enrollment starts on November 1st. At that point in time, Americans are going to begin to further realize that their premiums, copays, and deductibles are going to skyrocket. And why is that happening? Because Republicans decided earlier this year that they'd rather gut Medicaid and then provide massive tax breaks to their billionaire donors, make those tax breaks permanent, but now, as we approach open enrollment, have zero interest in actually extending Affordable Care Act tax credits that benefit working families, middle-class families, and everyday Americans. And so the crisis has grown worse because of Republican inaction over the last several weeks. And if we get to November 1st and we hit open enrollment and Republicans have still refused to act with respect to the Affordable Care Act tax credits, I think that's going to increase the intensity and need for urgent legislative action to take place.
Is retroactivity viable?
Yes.
Explain.
Yes.
Senator Moe has maintained that he believes a path out of the shutdown will come from rank and file members in the Senate, bipartisan conversations, maybe even a game. You and Leader Schumer have maintained that the path out of this is with the conversation with the president. Can you help kind of reconcile the position that Leader Spoon has in that things will come up from bipartisan rank and file conversations, when you say that Democrats need to talk to the president? Why do you think that there's a gap between how you both see the path out of the shutdown?
Well, Republicans in the House and the Senate, from the very beginning of the Trump presidency, haven't functioned like they are a separate and co-equal branch of government. What we've seen from Republicans in the House and the Senate is that they behave like a wholly owned subsidiary of Donald Trump and the Trump cartel. That's how they behave. A reckless rubber stamp for Donald Trump's extreme agenda, even when they're hurting their own constituents, because that's what Republicans did in the one big ugly bill. Largest cut to Medicaid in American history, ripped food from the mouths of children, seniors, and hungry veterans. And as a result of Republican policies that they rubber stamped, what we've seen is that hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health centers are closing in their own communities. And they can care less. Because when Donald Trump says jump, they simply respond, boss, how high? That's how Republicans have operated during the entirety of this presidency. And so, of course, our position has been, and I said this directly to the president with Johnson and Thune right next to me, this does not get resolved until you decide to give permission to Republicans on Capitol Hill to negotiate a bipartisan resolution.
Thank you. What is your reaction to now the third strike against suspended drug boats in the Caribbean just this week?
Well, it certainly is the case that we need to see the information from the administration justifying these strikes, both in terms of substance and in terms of the legal authority that they believe authorizes them in the absence of congressional action. Part of the problem that we have with House Republicans being on vacation for the last 4 weeks is that we don't even have the opportunity for the House to be briefed in its entirety on matters of domestic policy, and in this particular instance, on matters of national security, because House Republicans are gone. It's extraordinary. They've been on vacation for 4 weeks. They're getting paid for doing nothing, and then House Republicans are forcing hardworking federal employees to either be furloughed without pay or to work without pay, while they've refused week after week after week to show up. Mike Johnson needs to bring Republicans back now. Enough. This is ridiculous.
Leader Jeffries. Thank you, Leader. So you just said that Republicans are hurting their own constituents, and I understand that SNAP is a broad issue that affects millions, but in your home state alone, 3 million people are expected to lose their benefits next month.
Wow.
And you say you're ready to accept anything bipartisan out of the Senate. We have 3 Democrats who are voting for this right now.
You said, no, I said we're ready to consider anything that emerges in a bipartisan way in good faith from the Senate.
Thank you. Regardless, this is still a bipartisan effort right now to extend Biden's funding levels. If Democrats continue to not vote, reach the 60-vote filibuster, then does the party take this fallout responsibility?
No, and I disagree with the premise that we're extending Biden funding levels. That's a Republican talking point. This is not that complicated to understand. That in December of 2024, a bipartisan spending bill was enacted, overwhelmingly passed in the House and the Senate, signed into law by President Joe Biden. That was in December of 2024. Donald Trump supported that agreement after detonating the original bipartisan agreement. In March of 2025, a partisan Republican spending bill was enacted that lowered the spending levels, and in our view, as Democrats, which is why in the House we overwhelmingly opposed it, hurt veterans, hurt nutritional assistance, hurt housing affordability, and hurt health care. That's why we opposed it. Because that March spending bill wasn't Biden level spending, it was Trump partisan level spending, which they further aggravated by engaging in impoundments and rescissions in violation of the law in the 6 months that followed that March spending bill, partisan Republican spending bill, being jammed down the throats of the American people. So, first of all, we've made clear we will not support a partisan Republican spending bill that continues to gut the health care of the American people. We've been saying that for 6 weeks. We have not moved off of our position. We're going to continue to defend the health care of working class Americans, middle class Americans, and everyday Americans. Thanks.
Do you have anything positive to say about Mamdani? And do you recognize that your refusal to do so is splitting the Democratic Party?
I travel throughout the country, and the Democratic Party is as unified as I've seen us throughout the entirety of this year. And you're about to experience that in real time. This won't be hypothetical. You're about to see it in real time in Virginia, in New Jersey, and in California as it relates to Prop 50. As I've said, I will have more to say about the mayor's race when I have more to say about the mayor's race in advance of early voting when I'm back home tomorrow.
What is the strategy between behind waiting until the 11th hour to weigh in on the mayor's race?
This question has been asked and answered repeatedly.
Virginia is now entering the redistricting arena. They're planning to redraw maps. What do you think of this ongoing redistricting battle that seems to be occurring in the United States?
We have made clear that Donald Trump is trying to rig the midterm elections by gerrymandering congressional maps all across the country. And Democrats are going to continue to respond immediately, forcefully, and consistently with our view that the American people in a midterm election deserve free and fair elections, not rigged elections. And that's what Donald Trump is trying to do. The question that has to be asked is if all of the bravado that we see from Donald Trump, from Mike Johnson, from House and Senate Republicans, if all of the bravado is true, why are they engaging in unprecedented efforts to gerrymander congressional maps as part of some toxic scheme to rig the midterm elections? Here's the answer. Because Mike Johnson knows the House is gone as it relates to Republicans. Gone. Because they have failed to deliver for the American people. They haven't made life better for everyday Americans. They've made life better for their billionaire donors. That's what the one big ugly bill was about. Inflation through the roof. Costs out of control. Trump tariffs costing the American people thousands of dollars more per year in expense. And now they're about to jack up premiums, copays, and deductibles on top of what they've already done to healthcare.
Do we hear him?
Which includes the largest cut to Medicaid in American history, a possible $536 billion cut to Medicare at the end of this year, hospitals and nursing homes and community-based health centers closing because of Republican policies throughout the country, vaccines no longer available in the manner that they should, kids having to be held out from school in places like South Carolina and beyond. This is a five-alarm fire in healthcare that Republicans have created. And that's why Republicans are gerrymandering congressional maps in places all across the country. But here's the thing. They did not expect Democrats to be able to forcefully respond. But the stakes are too high. And we are not going to unilaterally disarm. And we will not let Republicans mathematically change the congressional map so they can artificially hold on to power when the American people are ready to throw them out of office.
What actions are House Democratic leadership in general is taking to ensure SNAP benefits will be paid in November? And are you confident that recipients will receive their benefits even if the government still shuts down?
The Trump administration has the resources now, including through an emergency contingency fund that has about $5 billion in it, to ensure that not a single American goes hungry if they refuse to reopen the government on November 1st. Not a single American should go hungry. And the challenge that we confront right now is that Donald Trump and Republicans on Capitol Hill are trying to weaponize hunger in order to jam their extreme right-wing policies in their spending bill down the throats of the American people. That's unacceptable. That's un-American. That's unconscionable. That Republicans are actually trying to weaponize hunger across the country. And here's the thing. This group of people, these extremists on the other side of the aisle, we will not let them lecture the American people about nutritional assistance when in their one big ugly bill, they cut $186 billion. These are Republicans this year, $186 billion from the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. That's the largest SNAP cut in American history. And people believe right now that Republicans actually care about hunger when they rip food away from the mouths of hungry children, seniors, families, women, and veterans to provide massive tax breaks to their billionaire donors. Get lost with that in terms of Republican spin. The American people are not buying it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Wow. This was interesting. I thought it was only fair because I usually just show just Republicans and I don't focus on the Democrats. But what's going on is serious. And we're going to look at the poll and see where you pick who is at fault for the government shutdown. 67% said the Democrats and 33% said the Republicans. So overwhelmingly, people feel as though that the Democrats are responsible. But if I look at it just as an independent, the Republicans have the House, the Senate, and they have the White House. They're in control of everything. And what was selling me on the Republican side was that there were people that were non-citizens that were going to receive, they'll still be receiving health care. So that right there was a no-brainer. I said, no, we don't want people that aren't citizens receiving our resources, especially when we have vets and we have homeless Americans that are unable and haven't been receiving health care. So that's unfair to American citizens. But now that I'm listening to what's going on, it's like a dire situation that's going on. And right now, for Mike Johnson to be fair, to have the Republicans on vacation for 4 weeks, a month, while people federally are losing their jobs, and you have the TSA and and all these other agencies that are required because they're essential workers to go to work and they're not being paid for over a month. And then I think I heard something about not even giving them back pay. So you can't tell your mortgage company, or if you have an apartment, you can't tell your apartment complex, oh, well, the government shut down and I'm not getting paid. They don't care. They will take you to court within 2 weeks. This is apartments. I'm not paying for that apartment. They'll start court procedures to evict you. And now you got court costs, you got eviction notices. Things happen rapidly when you, especially as if you own a house, you have more protections. But if you're renting, it's a real problem. But then you still got to feed your kids. You still have to put gas in your car. You still have to do all the things, pay your bills, and you have no money. But you're supposed to still go to work. And I think that it's not hurting the right people. See, when it's hurting everyday people, the top doesn't feel it because they're not experiencing what people are going through. But if the Democrats, I'm trying to decide if they are holding out, because mostly MAGA and mostly Republicans are in that are going to lose these SNAP benefits, that red states and the white community receive more SNAP benefits than any other geographic. And people who voted for Trump don't take into account that you can't separate Americans, that everyone's going to be affected. It's not, there's just the red or the blue. And I just want to say, I'm not beholden to any party. I'm beholden to God. I just want our government to stop pointing fingers and do right by the people. They're elected to solve problems. As a leader, which I am, you cannot resolve anything if you don't communicate. You can't resolve this situation if you don't have a seat at the table, if you're not picking up the phone. Now, we have all these guests coming from around the world, sitting with the president. Now, he's traveling, out of the country over to Asia, I believe. And we're sending, how many, $50 billion we gave to Argentina? But we don't have any money for our American citizens? It's not sitting right. It's not sitting right. If hospitals are going to close, like I was going along with it, okay, our healthcare system should be provided for citizens and blase, blase. But if Americans are going to be hurt and lose healthcare, hospitals are going to close, nursing homes are going to close, premium rates are going to skyrocket to 1,000 or more per month, and we're not going to believe it until it happens, and then we can't do anything about it. Are you kidding me? That's why we need to pay attention to both parties, what's going on, because you can go ahead and support the nonsense on either side, but who's telling you the truth? Because if the Democrats are right and all these millions of Americans are going to lose health care, health benefits, he said it was the biggest cut in SNAP history, $186 billion. You know how many people are going to do without? And don't think that people get SNAP because they don't work. They do. but the interest rates are so high, inflation is soaring. Paychecks are not keeping up with inflation. So people need supplement. People need help. That's what it is. It's helping them. They will not be able to feed their kids. They will not be able to eat. If you haven't been to the market lately, then you're going to be in for a big surprise with food costs. I believe food is my second highest bill next to my mortgage. And that's insanity. That's how expensive food is. So if what's going on is going to affect us, there's a lot of shady stuff that's going on right now. And telling us it's for the good of us, and I'm going along with it. But this right here, I'm concerned about. Not for myself, because I'm all right. God got me. I'm concerned about all the people that think they're doing the right thing, especially on the Republican side. And listening to all of that. And are the Republicans saying that Americans are not going to lose SNAP benefits? Are Republicans saying that Americans are not going to lose health care? Are Republicans saying that the premiums are not going to skyrocket? Or if they're saying none of these things are going to happen, that none of this stuff is going to happen. People aren't losing health care. Hospitals aren't closing. No Americans are going to be affected. And most of the Americans that will be affected are the red states. And a large portion of MAGA is receiving benefits through the Affordable Care Act, through SNAP. I don't believe in learning things the hard way. We just want the truth. Like, what is the truth? Because if America's first and American citizens are going to be hit like this, it doesn't matter about no tax on Social Security, no tax on tips and all of that. If you don't have health care, if you can't pay for your prescriptions, if you can't feed your family, that's a problem. And this is not about being so loyal to any party. You should be loyal to your freaking family, and especially to God. We got to get out of this. Our president is supposed to be the president of all Americans. I have a problem with him referring to half the country, if not more, as radical left, radical this, lunatics, low IQs. Those are your freaking constituents that you are governing over. He has to be the president for all the people. Every president has to be, and their administration. But if you're targeting certain segments, I'm talking about Americans, it's a problem. Is what important to you is unleashing National Guards onto American streets? You have them policing American citizens? You're saying crime rate is up with every city showing that everything is down? But you keep telling people the same stuff over and over until people are brainwashed. That's how the media did. They brainwash until you believe it. I believe a lot of the stuff they were saying about Trump. It was one-sided with the news media. But you got to find out about people for yourself. And not just from MSNBC, Fox News, Meet the Press, Morning Joe, Rachel Maddow, all the news media people. Jesse Waters, Guthrie, you got to find out for yourself. Go to Ground News. There's content creators, because there's so many people that are elected that's doing the disservice to the American people. And they're more interested in pointing who fault it is. And at the end of the day, American people are going to suffer. And I hope the Democrats are wrong about what they're saying. But if they are right, then we got a problem, Houston. If hospitals are going to close, premiums are going to skyrocket, all these people being kicked off of Medicare, Medicaid, America, remember, this is supposed to be about America first. I'm all for America first. Take care of home. But we still sending $50 billion over to Argentina while our country is going through all of this? That shouldn't be happening. So they're going to cut the benefits and everything's only gonna last till November the 1st, but we got monies for them, but we're gonna let American citizens go hungry. Are you kidding me? If the Democrats are right, then that's a problem. And we gotta hope that they're not right. So what are Republicans doing? Give me an excuse, because this channel has been all about Trump, supporting Trump, the policies and everything. In the beginning of his term, the rollout was phenomenal. Close the borders, all that. But the stuff that's been going on lately is questionable.
Eddie, I don't know if you know, but the Democrat has a lot to do with the KKK, not the Republicans.
So there's been problems on both sides of the field. I don't even know who to support any longer.
Yeah.
When I was supporting the Democrats, and I'm a legislative director by field, I've done hundreds of rallies. I'm an activist, advocate. I've been in the rooms with Obama, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, you name it. I've been there, done that. I have viral videos with me, with Biden or whomever. And I've been supportive. But I didn't know how much damage that the Democratic Party did to the Black community. Yeah. I didn't know that they filibustered the Civil Rights Bill. 70 days, they tried to filibuster it. I didn't know that they started the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. I thought that was the Republicans. I didn't know they were behind Jim Crow. I didn't know that Biden was the author of the 1994 crime bill that caused mass incarceration of Black men. And then they want to know what's wrong with us. It's just been a suppression for over 400 years of Black people. Now they talking about some damn Black fatigue. Are you kidding me? It's white exhaustion. We never enslaved anyone. We never been violent. But like when you have a president that says that Black people were born criminals and you've been convicted of a crime, that's the pot calling the kettle black. You can't. And Byron Donalds, who I always had liked initially, and now they got the Black man to write a bill to incarcerate our young kids, saying let's lock them up now because in 20 years they might be criminals.
The one who was arrested.
And he was arrested twice, became a felon by Byron Donalds. And now you don't want to, and you became a senator and you're running for governor, you don't want to give a Black child another chance? But we're not the mass shooters. We're not the school shooters. We're not the cop killers. We're not out here committing the most murders. It's not us. But the government and the news media make Black people the face of it and ignore all the other crime that's going on in this country. You got to look at white on white crime as well. Hispanic on Hispanic crime as well. You got to look at all crime. All crime. Prisons is a business. So they're going around each urban or Black state run by a Black mayor, and they want to lock up Black people because prisons is a business. So you want to lock Black people up, then you could do slave labor, right? We need farm workers.
Stroke, it's not that, it's that you can't handle the truth. You don't want to accept the truth. Because all we're doing here is being honest and telling how it actually is. You could use whatever term you want that you heard from the media and you heard from online, but it doesn't make what we're saying not true.
You know what? You can agree to disagree, and we're not trying to convince you of anything. We don't care what you believe or what you think. What we care about is the result of the actions of these political parties. What's going to matter is what happens at the end. That's what's going to matter. I don't care who you voted for or who you supported. At the end of the day, it's what matters is how it's going to affect everyday American people. That's the concern.
No, Pat R., we didn't enslave Black people as a Black person like how the race that did enslave us. Is a total difference in that.
We're going to just look at, and then the White House completely ignores crime. Trump won't mention any mass shooter that happens even that very day. Won't mention it. Won't talk about it. Even when Charlie Kirk, unfortunately, was assassinated by Tyler Robinson, it wasn't blame on that one individual. They called it the left. But the same day, you had another white shooter, a young man at Evergreen High School, that was shooting up people. They don't care about that. It's like it's not even being televised, all the cop killings that are being done. They're not even televising it. Fox News, nobody is televising what's going on. But if that had been a black person, it'd be plastered all over the world.
Yeah. So Rex said it's not worth explaining to these people in the comments. Yeah, we have a lot of
Yeah, I'm not, you know what,
pages.
I'm not even trying to explain. But at the end of the day, it's the results. If what the Democrats are saying that is right, then millions of people will be affected in a negative way. And it won't be by the Democrats, it will be by the Republicans, what they're trying to do. It won't be by the Democrats. The Republicans are in power. So at the end of the day, if millions of people lose their health care, premiums go up so high, thousands of dollars per month, that people can't afford to have health care. And then nursing homes closed, rural hospitals are closed, SNAP benefits, $187 billion cut that's going to go into effect next year. You're going to see a lot of starvation going on in this country.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have a stream, guys, later on, whenever we get to it.
It's going to be later on.
About Stephen Miller and his influence on
Stephen
President
Miller
Trump.
is he needs to be watched.
Yeah.
He needs to be watched, because I don't know if Trump running the White House or if it's Stephen Miller at this point. He's doing all the speech writing. He's doing all the writing up these executive orders. He's a lot to deal with, and he has racial undertones. So he needs to be watched. So y'all can fight to the end about what party you belong to, but at the end of the day, my concern is what happens to American people. What happens to your family? You know, they're going to eat. Those people that are in these offices are millionaires. All of them are. They might go in supposedly making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, but they come out being multimillionaires. Okay? All of them are rich. So they're not the same as you and what you're going through. Most Americans are living from paycheck to paycheck. That's a fact. Paycheck to paycheck. They can't go without being paid for a few weeks, or it's like, Houston, we have a problem. So if what they're saying is right, that's my concern. If they're saying what's going on is right, then the atrocity that's going to be done to this country is inexcusable to the American citizens. Because people voted for Trump because they wanted America to be first, because they felt that the Democrats are more focused on legal aliens and fighting for them and not fighting for the American people. They didn't care about us. They opened up the borders. They gave up our resources, providing, 14 plus million people came into this country homeless. But we provided luxury apartments. We provided Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. We provided SNAP benefits. We provided driver's license. We provided education. We provided care for their kids. We did all this for them. They weren't getting a little bit of money. They were getting a lot of money.
Okay, troll account. You're obviously a troll account.
You know,
especially with that username.
So report them or remove them or whatever. You don't have to accept them. So there's a lot. But then we say, no, we want America first. We want the president to be focused on Americans and our welfare. And I thought Trump was going to come into office and that he was going to be for all Americans. Because in order for America to do well, all of us have to do well. You can't separate us. You can have a Republican congressman and you could be a Democratic voter, but that Republican congressman is supposed to have your best interests.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be representing you for your best interests. We're all blended in communities. All of us. You might have a Republican or Democrat, but vice versa. They have to be about the people that they are serving. They are still supposed to serve you.
Tom, Trump is not doing exactly what we voted for. Like, for example, how he was about getting illegal immigrants out this country. But then what was it? South Africans. He
brought in.
Yeah.
He brought them in. You know, he wants to bring in white South Africans.
Yeah.
But you want to deport people that need asylum, even like those Haitians. If y'all know anything about Haiti, they really do need asylum. They're going through hell in their country. But they're deported. and then on the premise that South African farmers were being assaulted, which they're not being assaulted, it was the black farmers. But they wanted, they'll bring in the white farmers because they're white. There's no other way of getting around. I can't sugarcoat it. He wanted to bring them in because they're white. Just like we brought in 240,000 Ukrainians. And everything that happens to someone white is breaking news. Like Trump, big balls, Doge former employee, when he had gotten beaten up, Trump like, oh, National Guards, oh, Washington is unsafe. I don't know if that was the Elon effect, because Elon, I know he racist, or Stephen Miller, but they went after my people then.
Tom, so what you voted for was Trump putting the National Guard in all of these states and having them arrest people, American citizens.
Americans are being arrested.
Trump's not doing exactly what we voted for. What I'm saying, all of us voted for, not just us, with what the people voted for. He's not doing that.
It's like they have gone left. How much are they doing for the American people? We know how you're going to fire 350,000 black women when most black women are the head of the household. A federal job provides not only stability, but it gives them annual leave, vacation, life insurance. It gives you so many benefits that you can't get from everyday jobs. And a lot of your vets go and work for the federal government because they can transfer their annual leave. They have seniority when they go into federal jobs. It's a lot of benefits. So when they fire federal workers, you're firing vets. Yeah. Vets just get hit every kind of way possible. It's like all they done for this country, they get slapped in the face.
And also, if he's saying that, my mom can tell you, I've been like the biggest Trump fan and Trump supporter. Yeah. So when he's saying that means he's not doing everything what's right for this country.
Yeah, he got his hats and everything. Yeah. I was trying to throw him away at one time, previous election. But this is like disheartening because I thought that they were going to come in and they were going to be about the American people. And all I'm seeing, to be honest, is attacks on the American people. At this point, this administration, they flood the news media on a daily basis, doing daily news conferences every day, trying to control the news media. Now they're going after the NBA players. It's like but we're supposed to have 350 terrorists in this country. We're supposed to have 15,000 convicted rapists. We're supposed to have over 11,000 convicted murders. We're supposed to have 2 million gotaways. We're supposed to have Trinidad and Raga, MS-13, the cartel, ISIS. We're supposed to have all this in the country. All this. And our FBI is being used to go after American citizens at this point. Yeah. And these cities that have black mayors going after black people. They don't switch from, you don't even hear about Tom Homan any longer. They don't even talk about him. Where is Tom Homan? Stephen Miller has a disdain for black people, and he's supposed to be Jewish. I don't know what's wrong with him. Yeah, but he's about white supremacy. Yeah. And, there's always these little Napoleons that come around, but we're not our ancestors. Black people now, we're not our ancestors. It's not no one-way fight, We're not our ancestors. Nobody is going for all this because of social media. You don't have to just listen to one news source. Now you can go online and you can get your news source from so many avenues that have no skin in the game. So you don't have to listen to MSNBC or Fox News or Meet the Press or any Trump's True Social or News Nation. You can go and you can find out your own source. You can go to Google, ChatGPT. You can, there's so many ways that you can find out what's going on. So all that brainwashing and trying to tell us whatever they want to tell us, we can fact check everything.
Philip, someone needs to remind Trump to have more focus on the illegal immigrants that are in this country.
Oh, that done shifted to black people.
He's saying to tell mayors to focus on illegals and protect
Yeah,
us.
but we gonna forget about everything, all other stuff that's going on in this country. All the stuff that's going on in this country. We're not even trying. They don't even mention the terrorists that are here. They don't. The FBI say they know something gonna kick off. They just don't know when. We got 50,000 Chinese nationalists. We got everything here. They're here.
Yeah.
The borders are closed, but we closed them in here. They're here.
Uh-huh.
We still have sanctuary cities. They're here. But that's not their focus. So we're imploding. What we're doing now is Americans fighting Americans. We're imploding.
Yeah.
The election is over, but it's still the right against the left, not working together to have one nation under God. We're spending all our time attacking one another. And you know why we doing all that? Guess what Russia doing? Russia plotting and planning. They don't care about Trump. At this point, Putin is feeling more empowered. He don't care about Ukraine. And Zelensky wants us to fight Russia anyway. Oh, you the big guy, you the big guy. He's like, even at the last end, Putin's scared of you. Putin not scared of him, because guess who Putin got? He got China. The third most powerful country in the nation in the world is China. So you got two nuclear powerhouse. Then let's throw Kim Un in there, North Korea. And let's not forget about India. They all meeting together, and China wants Taiwan. So they laughing at us. Trump got us having war. It's like declare war on Americans.
Well,
I've never seen nothing like this.
yeah. Well, Philip, to what you said,
I've never seen this mess.
Philip, to what you said, we need to stop voting for two parties. If there's another party, it's gonna give one party the advantage because it's gonna split the vote.
I don't know what to do at this point.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I was with the Democrats, then I said, okay, they have done us so dirty. They were wolves in sheep clothing. They don't even they're not even fighting for what's going on now in the how the black community is being attacked. They still fighting for illegal immigrants. They trying to arrest our children. They mislabeling us, and we're not the threat we have never been the threat to America. We have built this country off our backs. They try to say lies about we lazy, we this and that, when we have labored in this country. We got to fight for everything. People are benefiting from the civil rights bill because of black people. Now they stripping everything. They don't even want you to know the history. Who has ever done that? Going into the Smithsonian Museum, and you don't want us to know the horrific, barbaric stuff that's been done to my community, to my ancestors? It's like we're just supposed to forget about it. So that they want you to forget the history because they want history to repeat itself. They're trying to clamp us down right now. They're trying to clamp us down. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take away wealth. They're trying to impoverish us. They're trying to lock us up. Oh, they have a mission that's going on right now. And it's not for the betterment of this country. And at the end of the day, black people if I'm talking about my community, we want to boycott everything. We got trillions of dollars we put in this nation. We got to stop. Put our money. Don't spend our money in the communities. Put our money in our own businesses. We got to stop. We got to boycott. We got to stop. Y'all want to have your own separate towns, but guess what? Y'all can have a separate town, but there ain't no separate, only one race in heaven. Tell that to God. And if you don't like different pigmentations, take it up with God, because he created us. And he said we're the apple of his eye. He made the human race. So if you got a problem with people complexions, take it up with God. Tell God that you don't like it. God didn't make a superior race. He gave us all the same brains, the same capabilities. There's no race smarter than the other. We all have the same capabilities. It all boils down to education. And that's why even when people were enslaved, the black people that came to this country, the very thing they held from my community was education. Because people perish for lack of knowledge, education. So that's why our schools don't have the resources compared to other schools and don't have the same quality as other schools. It's not about people can't learn, because we're intelligent, articulate, we're engineers, scientists, doctors, lawyers, multimillionaires, multi-billionaires. We are there. But there is an attack that's going on Americans, and it's because of race. It is because of race. We're not going to sugarcoat and get around it. It's because of race, and it's going on right now in real time. And it's disheartening to have to admit that. It really is, because I thought Trump was going to be for all the people. Because what else does he need? He's a billionaire, but he got people that have hardened hearts and hatred, like Stephen Miller, that has a lot of control, and Trump is reading his words. He's his writer, speech writer. Trump, he's writing these executive orders. Stephen Miller has a lot of power right now, and so does some of the other ones.
What was the Civil Rights Act?
What, the Civil Rights Bill?
Yeah.
The 1965 or whatever, Civil Rights Bill? 64 Civil Rights Bill?
Yeah.
What about it?
Because someone said the Civil Rights Act destroyed the black family, and that's why the black community is having such a tough time right now.
No, you know what? What you need to do is educate yourself, because that just sounds so silly. It sounds silly. Nobody wants to admit what's happening and the truth. The Civil Rights Bill, because things were not fair. You could go as a black person with a master's degree and stand next to that white man, and because of color skin, you're not going to get hired. They're not going to hire you over that person. It was it was because fairness was not there. It wasn't there. Everyone was getting accepted to schools, yes, based on their color. You're put at the back of the bus going to college. And then you're going in less advantaged because your school did not have the same quality education as their school because of your environment. The opportunities are not equal. So it came to fruition because it was needed. Most of your executive today is not that white people are not smarter. They're in control. And nobody is like nobody is fighting back with that. It's like we're going to do all these things to you. Look what still happened with the police departments. You can still get away with shooting black people in 2025. Handcuffed. But you won't touch an illegal alien. I was like, wow. They kicking and throwing bricks at them. They don't do anything. Let us do that. You dead on arrival. So they can control themselves, but they know what they can get away with. But it stops now. It stops now. That's why black people are not out there marching. We go out there, they attack us. We're the shield, always. Nobody's fighting. Not even the Congressional Black Caucus is not fighting for black people. The NAACP is not fighting for black people. They all got skin in the game because everybody getting paid. Everybody. You could buy anybody. And now they're attacking the NBA, so they're still going after black wealth because everybody gambles in sports. We're not going to act like that doesn't happen. I'm not even a sports bet, all that stuff, but I've heard about that forever. Sports betting, illegal betting, that's always going on. It's not just black basketball players or black people doing it, but what's his name? Cash Patel? He's like, that's important? When you said we got terrorists? And sending them on our American streets, that's important? And we must have all these aliens in this country? So anyway, you guys, it's a lot to look at. This wasn't part of the video, but I wanted to see what Hakeem Jeffries, because I never do any lives with the Democratic Party, but sometimes you gotta listen to both sides.
The last thing, they're also too attacking affirmative action.
Yeah, they attack affirmative action, everything. Everything. They're not about all Americans. This administration is not about all Americans. They're not. And that's the truth. And the bad part about it is the Americans that voted for this party, like MAGA and Republicans, they're going to get hit the hardest. And then they're going to find out the hard way. And who wants to find out the hard way? The truth. So just because you support a party, that don't mean you go along with everything they say.
Well,
I don't agree with everything with neither party.
Well, Chuck, why we voted for Trump is because of his administration the last time he was president and the promises that he made.
He did the First Step Act.
Yeah.
So what Biden did, Trump came along and did the First Step Act. They gave the people that were locked up or in mass incarceration opportunities to come out of these prisons. They were giving, black people are over sentenced all the time. They're over sentenced for minor even crimes. Because prisons is a big business. When they did the 1994 crime bill, they built more prisons. It's money. It's big money. And they need the prisons filled. So what Trump is doing now, he's doing what Biden did. He's doing a replay of the 1994 crime bill, telling y'all not safe unless you lock up black people. Black people committing the crimes. But while white people run around being mass shooters, killing cops, doing everything. And nothing is said. Not one word. Not one word. Trump keeps saying the same city. He keeps talking about Chicago. That's all he talks about. Statistics that was months ago. He keeps saying the same thing over, like it's happening every day, over and over again. But you got 10 red states that got a higher crime rate than Chicago. He don't talk about that. That he's not sending the military there. So it's one-sided. But that's why I'm glad that now we can find out things for ourselves. Y'all don't have to accept the lies. But we need the truth. And like I said, nobody goes 100% with either party. You don't agree with your wife or husband 100% in anything. Neither your bosses, neither your co-workers. You don't agree with your neighbors 100% everything. Nobody does. And we don't agree with this administration 100% of everything as well. And with the things that are happening lately, I'm in disagreement with. And that's being honest. And I'm going to stand on that unless they show me differently. Y'all keep on thinking MAG gonna be just fine. Look at who's gonna be hit with the health, with the premiums and being removed from health care. Better check it out. You better hope the Democrats are wrong. You better hope.
You've been to Chicago, right?
Huh?
You've been to Chicago.
I've been there.
Yeah, someone said that you never been to Chicago.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there. And it's beautiful. It's one of the best cities I've ever been in. I love Chicago. It's phenomenal. I love how they have the boats going through the streets. You go out into the Great Lakes and the harbor. It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful city.
She's been to Chicago.
Yeah, I have. I have. I've been in conferences representing people that I serve. It's amazing. Amazing. And so everything that's being said, you can't believe all that. Keep on saying it over and over again. And the things that are being done. You know, I care about the people that they're saying that they're arresting. For what? It's not 1,000 people running around committing crimes. People are just being arrested because of the color of their skin as well. That's what's going on. They're not arresting somebody that just committed a murder or a rape or what. They're looking for people. Just they had a little young black guy on the ground, a freaking goddamn ICE agent on his damn back. And his sister-in-law was trying to say he's a citizen. He's a citizen. And what the Democratic Party did, they put them in a black community, these illegal immigrants, and they said apartment building in Chicago that they even had zip ties on the black children, babies naked. They had tear gas the community looking for I guess they were illegal aliens. And all the black people had to go through, I guess, identity checks or whatever before they were detained. But they went through all of that. Was traumatizing. Americans. Traumatizing. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. That should have been executed a better way, but they didn't give a damn. They didn't give a damn that 99.9% of the building was black. They didn't care. So I have a problem with that. I have a problem with them trying to go after our children when they all sitting up there criminals in the White House that have been given second, third, fourth, and fifth chances, including Byron Donalds. I have a problem with that. Out of all people, they get his ass to write up a bill that's going to hurt his own community. What kind of BS is that? Excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry, I pray to all here. Okay, Pastor Philip Mitchell, I'm sorry, but I'm angry. This is what I represent. I'm angry. I went to Access, and our whole objective with Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell was to pray for this president, pray for this country. It was like probably around 60,000 of us. It was all about prayer. Yeah. Praying for this president, this country, our families, our friends, and everything. That's what we did.
Yeah.
Because prayer changes things. So we lift this up in prayer. But we are going to speak the truth, because not because of y'all, because we do this because of, we're mandated to do this because this is what God says to do. We can't sit around and watch unrighteousness and don't speak about it.
Yeah, and this is very like important because you got to realize something, guys. It's like similar to something I seen, like a show on Netflix that I enjoyed. Like if anything happens, they're gonna be in their bunkers. They're gonna be all safe and protected while we're out here trying to survive. So everything that's going on with politics in this country is very vital and important to discuss and to shed light on different situations.
You know, but don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. But yeah, we might live in the most,
Dangerous time.
people think America this and that, but not if your government is attacking you. It's becoming more every day, it's becoming more like it's attacking the citizens that they're supposed to represent. And right now, freaking Congress, freaking Republicans who've been supporting you, get your asses back to work. Get back to work and solve this problem. Because you're doing a disservice to us. We don't care who fault it is. Y'all have to go and meet and resolve it. Period. They're not elected to turn their backs on the American people. You got to sit with those Democrats and y'all work it out. Work it out. And President Trump, you need to order them back to Washington. 1 month and they still hanging out and still not talking. Take your asses back to work and do the damn job you was elected to do. How about that? How about that? We don't care if it's the right, it's the left. This is what they pointing fingers. How is that serving the American people? And then you got these crazy people. Okay, well, I'm mad. I'm just. Who cares if you can't eat? If you can't go to the doctor? If you can't pay for your prescriptions? If your premiums are going up? If interest rates are high? Inflation is high? Who cares? What party you belong to? They need to do right by us. We focus on the wrong bull crap. We focus on party instead of them doing their jobs. Do your jobs, Republicans. Do your jobs, Democrats, for the people of the United States of America. Stop pointing a finger. And Republicans, it's inexcusable. You got to get to work. We don't need the government shut down one more day and any more people losing their jobs. How about that? Jobs aren't coming in. More jobs are being lost. The unemployment is skyrocketing. They only added 22,000 more jobs since the last time I heard, and that was a couple months ago. So all the promises with jobs, they're not here. But you firing every damn body with nothing to replace the jobs with. And the quality jobs, living wage jobs, the unions fight for. So I want to hear all that bull crap. Get to work. Get back to Washington. Do your job. Represent all the American people like you're supposed to. So all that crying, after we do this, we're going to replay this back. Because if the Democrats give in and the crap that they said that this administration was doing, we're going to play this back. We're going to play it back. But you better hope the Democrats are wrong about what's coming if they don't continue to hold out. Better hope they're wrong.
Well, there's many jobs that AI can't do as a human.
Yeah, AI is next. They told the next few years they took over customer service. I mean, y'all better wake up. Stop being loyal to one party. Focus on what they're doing right, regardless of party, for your well-being. Period. I don't care which party it is. Do right by the American people.
What's your question, Nikki? You keep saying answer the question, but what's your question?
Anyway, we jumping on. We're gonna come back on because we're gonna start doing more topics. So you guys in chat, we're gonna be bringing people on to be part of the live. People that can speak in a clear, concise manner. People who aren't too sensitive and too
What
emotional.
does that mean, Tom?
You know, people that can express their viewpoints because it's good for people to talk. They even have different viewpoints because you can kindly agree to disagree. Okay? So that's what, but talking is important. And nobody's trying to make anybody agree with you or with us. You know, it's about coming together and communicating. So anyway, you guys, I got to jump off. We're going to come back on here and just, you know.
Okay, people keep spamming. Why are the Democrats not signing?
Well, you know what? They must be working for the White House. Because what they're going to sign, the Republicans haven't been there for a month. Get to the damn table. Get to the table. Have a seat at the table. I did a thing like that, having a seat at the table when I went to Washington, walking the corridors. Have a seat at the table. Get in there and talk. Because if they're protecting you right now, you better be thankful. Because if what they say, their premium's going to skyrocket it, all these people be kicked off. They talking about 20 million people.
Tom?
Good luck.
Tom said, y'all don't want to debate me, I promise.
Don't nobody care about you. I promise you that. I promise you that. Nobody cares what you think. Debate God. Debate God. That's your best debate. Debate God. But one thing about it, we're going to find out the truth at the end of the day. And if the Democrats are right, then good luck to you. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck to you. You know, we have people that got big channels that want to come on. At least they have subscribers and stuff.
I don't know if you want me to read his comment, but
Nah.
I think he's going against the black community.
We don't care. Don't give them energy.
Yeah.
Don't give them energy because you have people that's stuck in a bubble land and they don't want the truth. There's no truth in them. They don't want to hear the truth because the truth hurts. So they want to listen to the rhetoric that's told over and over again while you got all this corruption out here being committed, not by black people. They don't want to broadcast that. We already know the deal.
People in the chat, like, what party do you think we support? The Democrats or the Republicans? Because I wonder, because we get comments that it seems like people think we're against the Republicans. Then we get comments like people think we're against the Democrats.
I'm not with neither party at this point. I'm officially an independent. I am not for, because both of them are doing us dirty. Both of them. Both. But you got to still know what's going on. And there's some things you got to listen to. Sometimes the Republicans are horrible. Sometimes the Democrats are horrible. But sometimes the Republicans are great. And sometimes the Democrats are great. And this instance, I'm believing maybe the Democrats are right about millions of people being kicked off of healthcare, and that's an issue, Houston.
Now the guy who said the racist comment is saying my wife is black. Nice.
Oh, don't give us that. Don't give us. Oh, my best friend is black and my white, and you can still be a racist. That you're not a racist with your wife, and we didn't get this color by ourselves, okay? We're not light skinned because we don't have white and different ethnicities in our family. Come on now, and people still act certain ways. You know, so don't even want to hear that. It's not about your pigmentation. We're the human race. And like I said, if you have a problem with pigmentation, take it up with God. Because he created us. You tell God you don't like people have different ethnicities and different cultures, which is a beautiful thing that we're different. Take it up with God. Because God must have got it wrong, right? You're the Almighty.
Now he's saying you want to talk to her. I don't sugarcoat anything.
You know, so anyway, we're ready to jump off. I spent too much time on this. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe. Thank you for your support. Think about becoming a special friend, and we are going to roll out a contest on Christmas Day. We want to reach 100,000 subscribers, so we will be launching that. in the next few days and giving you the rules and regulations, but you have to subscribe and you're going to be put into the contest. And we're going to probably have at least 3 winners on Christmas Day. And that's when people need money and they need help after they spend all their money on presents and gifts and things like that. So we want to roll that out. So that's going to be our goal. And we're not too far from Christmas. So I think that would be a wonderful Christmas present for our subscribers. Thanks, guys. You want to say anything before we?
Yeah, I was looking for a comment too, because I wanted to tell you after the stream.
What?
I was just in there.
Okay, because it's not that important.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
It's okay. If they want us to hear what they said, because we be having thousands of people on our chats, and we be having hundreds of thousands of people that wind up viewing our live stream.
Y'all Tom said y'all cool people, even though y'all tripping.
Well, thank you. We love all of you guys. God bless you. And it's good to have the conversations, the hard conversations. We know this is not popular because our channel is mostly based on MAGA and Republicans and stuff like that. So we know, but we're not here, we're not people pleasers. And we're not in it for money and things like that. We don't make anything off of using our time and energy. We just want what's right for the people of this country. We love America, and I'm proud to be an American citizen. And I want the best for us. I'm tired of everybody lying to us, mistreating us for power, for gain. I'm tired of it.
And it should feel to also, or it can feel like also refreshing to find a channel that looks at both sides, that isn't just one-sided. Because any other channel, they're just one-sided. They never look like down the middle at different subjects in politics.
And that's, we're going to look at both.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys take care. God bless you guys.
God bless.
And don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next live. We're going to come back on.